Welcome to Money, Manifestation, and Business, the podcast that shows you how to use your energy, intention, and consciousness to reprogram your money mindset, unleash a new level of possibility, and create a life and business that lights you up. I'm your host, Jamie Berman, and I invite you to join me each week for a dose of inspiration, coaching, and teachings to help you rewrite your money story, create abundance on your terms, and grow your business in a way that's fully aligned for you. This is going to be so much fun. Let's dive in. Let's talk about how you can create money now. How fun is that, right? This is one of my favorite things to teach people is that they are in the driver's seat when it comes to making money and that you don't have to wait on the future or on something happening in order to create money, that you in fact have the power to create money now. So I want you to imagine yourself right now energetically taking yourself from the back seat of the car and moving yourself up into the driver's seat, placing both hands on the wheel, knowing that you are steering the vehicle and you are in control of making money if you want to. All right? It's not something that happens to us. It's something that we absolutely can create. And I've already shared one of my favorite money-making thoughts in episode 2 of the podcast. I believe it was episode 2, maybe 3. Go listen to both of them. But the thought is, I can create money. And that's where this begins, because so many of us have the belief that it is outside of our control, that it's up to our clients, it's up to someone else saying yes, it's forces outside of us, and that we just have to rely on hope or luck in order to make money. And that is simply not true. And it's not an effective way of thinking if you're an entrepreneur. And if you want to be a successful entrepreneur, you're gonna have to change your mindset around this. And that's what I'm here for. I'm here to support you with it. It is my total passion. I love changing people's mind around this topic, if you can't tell. Anyways, this episode came about because a couple weeks ago, I was coaching one of my clients in my Soulful Six-Figure Mastermind. And my mastermind is my more intimate, high-touch, elite program for my entrepreneurs who are a little more seasoned, have been making money and have success in their business, and they're really scaling it and really breaking through upper limits. And one of my clients in there has a successful membership and it's going well. She has private clients. She's pretty much full. Successful membership, but all through the summer, she was noticing the numbers of people in the membership were declining. And she was also noticing that she was feeling less and less empowered every month as she was watching those numbers go down. So I knew it was time to do some coaching and help her get back into her power and to realize that she has full control over this. Because as we were coaching, I was noticing that she was thinking, I'm doing all the things and it's just not working like it used to. And she was feeling like it wasn't really in her control. So I wanted to help her challenge that. So I first started with the belief, is it really out of your control? Right? Like I was asking her, what can we control here? What can we do about this? Are there things that we could do that maybe you haven't even thought of yet? And I wanted to help expand and open up her mind to the possibility that she could totally create money on demand. She could totally decide what her goal was this month and reach it. And that was my challenge for her, especially because she was in that place the last couple of months of noticing the numbers going down. So I wanted to help her create that shift. So after we worked on her thoughts around it, I posed this question to her. I said, okay, let's just brainstorm. What are 10 ways you could make money this month? Like, let's just brainstorm. It can be something totally out of the blue. It doesn't have to make sense, but like, let's just do a mind dump and think of all the ways that you could make money this month. And think of ways that you could increase your subscribers this month or get more people into your world. And I said, let's also think of ideas that don't have to do with your business where you could make money. It was just like, let's brainstorm. And we got the whole mastermind on board, and everyone was giving her ideas because she was kind of stuck initially. So we were all throwing out ideas, and then the wheels started turning for her, and she started thinking of ideas. And I say that because I want to pose that question to you. If you are feeling like you're not in control of the money that you make or feel like it's something in the future, ask yourself this: how could I make money now? How could I make money this month? And your brain might initially kind of close up and feel resistant, but hold space for that and still go through the exercise, because I think you will be very surprised at what your intuition comes up with. Anyways, when we did this with the client, everyone was throwing out ideas and then she started getting them. So we said everything from, I could sell some of my clothes to I could, offer more one-on-one spots, even though she was full and that didn't feel aligned. We're like, yeah, that's still a way. Let's put it down. Could increase the rates of one-to-ones, could do a webinar, could do a virtual retreat, right? Like, she just started coming up with ideas and everyone started helping her come up with ideas. And I said, you know what? You don't have to make the decision now, but I said, sit with that question. Don't try to answer it from your brain, but just sit with that question for the week. Continue asking yourself, how could I make money this month? And I'm pretty sure it was just the next day after our call that she writes me and says, oh my gosh, Jamie, I got to download. The retreat idea is it. I want to do a virtual retreat, and I got an entire download of what this is going to be, of what I want to teach, of what my community needs. And she said, and I don't think it'll take too much to enroll, but I had this vision and I saw 100 people coming to the retreat, and I have no idea how the heck I'm going to get 100, but I'm going to go for it, right? And then she moved from disempowered to like enthusiastic, having something to work towards. So I was so excited for her. I'm like, let's go. And I'm fully going to support you in getting these 100 people in. And she did. She ended up having the retreat. Initially, it was 75 people that were there live, but she had still held the belief for 100. And it was so fun to actually watch because a bunch of people after the retreat started buying the replay. So she ended up having like around 100 people that watched it. And what's so awesome about this is I was thinking, if she had never been willing to get coached on this and never been willing to ask that question to herself and open her brain up and then take courageous action on the answer that she got, I'm thinking about all the people that wouldn't have been helped, right? That was 100 people that she impacted. That's a huge deal, a big deal. I was so moved by that. And also on top of that, a bunch of those people ended up going into her membership and starting to work with her longer term to get healing. So just asking yourself that one question and starting to move into the driver's seat around your ability to make money is going to impact people in such a huge way. That's why I love this work. It's like, I'm just imagining if she hadn't done it, like the people that she wouldn't have been able to serve. So that's what this is really all about. And on top of it, it's about us stepping into our power, realizing that we have the power to create the money that we want, but we also have the power to create the life that we want. It's everything. And what's also fun about this, one of my favorite parts of being a coach is that as I'm coaching others, I'm like, that was a great idea, right? I feel like sometimes I'm kind of channeling. So I'll like afterwards think about my sessions and I'm like, oh, I need to take my own advice, right? So the day after I posed that question to her, what are 10 ways you could make money this month? I was like, why don't I brainstorm that, right? Like, I could increase my revenue this month. Why the heck not? So I did the exercise myself and I was like, what are 10 ways I could make money this month? And I instantly got a download. I'm like, wait, I could just offer a 1 month trial to my program, the Money Manifestation Movement. I was like, I could do it as a one-time thing just to test it out, bring new people in, help new people, make some more money, right? And maybe they'll sign on for a year. And at first, whenever I thought about it, of course, my brain was resistant. And that can happen often when we're like thinking of new things. I realized that my brain instantly almost gets into overwhelm thinking it's going to be this huge thing. And like my brain was like, oh my gosh, but you already have all these other things planned and you have a launch coming up at this time and this going on. But I was like, you know what? So what? What if this could be easy? Again, another one of my favorite questions. How can I make this easy? I was like, okay, I'm going to follow through with this idea. How can I make it easy? I'll write one email, I'll do one Insta story, and I'll just set up a Kajabi offer. And that's what I did. I wrote out one email. I went on Insta stories, shared about this. I'm like, this is a one-time thing. You got to get it in the next 2 days. Otherwise, it's bye-bye. And I got instantly 13 new people in my program who got to go through it for an entire month and experience the coaching and the support and the community and the all of the everything that I offer within the Money Manifestation Movement, all of the teachings for an entire month. And on top of that, after the month, many of them went on to continue for a full year because they had the experience and they realized that it's extremely valuable and very, very helpful. So I made thousands and thousands of dollars just by asking myself that one question. How can I make money today? How can I make a new offer today? Right? So I'm going to offer that to you. If you are someone who feels like you want to make some money now, ask yourself the question, how can I make money now? What are 10 ways? And just see what comes. Let yourself sit with it. But the next step is always taking courageous action once an idea drops in. You have to follow it. Taking courageous action is one of the foundations of my soulful manifestation process, right? Manifestation is not just about sitting and visualizing, right? That's a part of it for sure. We absolutely want to see the end result, but then we want to act on it. And it takes a lot of courage to try new things, especially when our brain thinks we could fail. It could be overwhelming. Oh my gosh, is this going to be too much? But one of the things that we have to do when we're manifesting is we have to stop listening to our primitive brain so much that just wants to keep us 100% safe and comfortable in the cave. Our brain is so not interested in thriving. Our brain is interested in surviving, right? But I am interested in thriving, which is why I've learned to really hold compassionate space for the brain, but not listen and be willing to take courageous action when an idea drops in. So I wanted to offer that thought to you and this process of how to make money now to you so that you can absolutely make money this month, right? How fun is that? So I'm going to recap what that process is. And then I also want to talk about some of the things that get in the way of making money now so that you can avoid doing those things. Okay, so the process. Number one, you have to look at your thoughts and you have to be willing to change them. So ask yourself, whenever I say I can make money now, or when you say that to yourself, what comes up for you? What are some of the beliefs that come to the surface for you? Right? Is it, oh my gosh, it's going to be hard. I don't know how. It's going to take time. It hasn't happened in the past. I'm not launching right now. I'm in the middle of creating a program. Like, what is your brain offering that's telling you basically that you can't make money now? Because you're going to have to be willing to challenge that. You're going to have to be willing to either coach yourself on it or get some coaching on it. I know one of my go tos for a long time was I'm not launching now because I had this belief that I can only make money when I'm launching or that I only do make money when I'm launching. And since I believed that, well, thoughts become things. So even though my program was always open, I only had money really come in when I was launching. And I realized that that thought was getting in the way of me consistently making money and of me feeling like I could make money on demand whenever I wanted to. So I had to be willing to go in and challenge that thought and say, wait a minute. First of all, this is only a result because I'm believing it. So first step is believing something new, right? And also seeing how am I setting myself up so that that is my reality, and how can I shift that? Like, what shifts do I have to make in order for that to not be the case, for me to be able to make money consistently, right? So again, step one, look at what's getting in the way of you believing that you can make money now. And you got to clean up that thought and clean up any of the behaviors that are in the way of it so that you can, right? And how did I clean up those behaviors? Well, I decided to create an evergreen funnel. I decided to start running Facebook ads. I decided to start my podcast because I realized I really wasn't making a lot of offers other than during launches. So, of course, that's when I was making money, right? So I cleaned up that belief. All right. Step two, after you clean up your beliefs and decide on purpose what you want to believe. And my new belief is I always make money. Like money is just attracted to me. It just always flows in, right? No matter what, like money just always comes my way. It's not a problem. There's no drama in my life around money. That's my thought that I just practice now. It's like it consistently comes in, not something I ever have to worry about, right? That's my new thought that I think over and over and over. Then number two, ask the question, what are 10 ways I can make money this month? And really write that down. Even if it sounds like a wild idea, write it down. So it's literally how I paid for my first life coach is I asked myself that question. How could I make it happen? How could I come up with $8,000 even though I didn't have any business income yet? And I wrote down 10 ideas. I was like, garage sale, eBay, maybe get a credit card, ask for a loan from a family member. I could sell my car. Ding, ding, ding. That's what I ended up doing, right? So you can create money on demand. You just have to be willing to ask yourself that question. And now that I'm an entrepreneur and I have more belief in my ability to create money in business, I can come up with lots of fun, creative business ideas. And I'm sure you can too. All right. And then number three is you have to be willing to take courageous action on one of your ideas. And you have to go for it. And that is how you're going to prove to yourself that you can create money now. You can do it now, right? And another thing that I think is helpful to notice is because if you do this exercise, you most likely will create money. All right. And then what happens often, I'm just going to warn you ahead of time so your brain doesn't do this, is next month you're going to be like, whoa, I had that idea last month, but now how am I going to? I already did that thing. We want to refrain from letting our brain tell us that story. So, because mine did too. And I've seen this with a lot of my clients and I've coached them on it. So one of the beliefs that I've taken on is I continuously come up with new ideas. I always have new ways of making money and the ideas flow consistently. So I just don't close my brain off to ideas. Because when we tell ourselves, I can't, I did it last month, I don't know how it's going to happen again, we energetically close ourselves off to ideas. What we're basically saying is like, no universe, don't give me anything else, like I'm all done, right? So we want to keep ourselves open and really consider like, what if I could do this always, right? What if every month I could come up with a new way to make more money? All right. So that's what I have for you, my friends. But as promised, I told you that I would mention a couple of the things that we want to stop telling ourselves and stop doing that gets in the way of making money now. One of the things, and I believe this is one of the most toxic thoughts I hear in the manifestation space, is I have to feel good to make money. This is a thought I want to encourage you to completely stop saying if you have that in your mind in any way, shape, or form. It is simply not true. You can be a human being that has all the human emotions and still make money. You do not have to be high vibe all of the time in order to make money. Think about it, y'all. Think about the billionaires of the world. Do you think they're high vibe and happy all the time? No. They're human freaking beings who have a mixture of emotions, but they just have a belief that they can make money. They have a confidence that they can make money. That's the only difference. They're not high vibing all the time. So stop telling yourself you have to feel good to make money. It's not true. I've been depressed and made money. Lots of it. Not that I want to be depressed, not that I don't want to be high vibe. It's always my intention to care for myself and my nervous system and to feel my best. But I would never tell myself when I'm down that I can't make money. So stop doing that, because that'll get in the way of you making money now. And it'll really be dependent on your mood. And we don't want money to be dependent on your mood. Okay? Next thing that I would recommend you stop doing in case you do it is stop telling yourself, once I get X, Y, or Z done, then I'll be able to make money, right? Like once I get the copy on my website done, once I clarify my niche, once I clarify my framework, once I clarify my program, once I, who knows what, right? Have the best elevator pitch, then I can make money. Guess what will happen if you're always waiting on X, Y, or Z to make money? You will always be waiting on X, Y, or Z to make money. Why is that? Because your business is never going to feel 100% complete. It is always going to be evolving and changing, and you're always going to be fine-tuning. It's never done, right? And so as long as you think it has to feel perfect and ready in order to make money, you're not going to ever make money. So you have to learn how to let your business be imperfect and you not have all of the answers, but still believe that you can get out there and help your people or serve your people, right? And that you can make money now while you're working on X, Y, or Z. Like, hold them together. If you think that way, it's just not going to change, right? Because like the way that because thoughts are habitual. So if you're always thinking, once I finish X, Y, or Z, then I'll make money, you'll always be thinking, once I finish X, Y, or Z, I'll make money. It will just be always constantly moving. So really it is embodying, I can make money now. And it's really embodying that non-perfectionist, B- work. Let's freaking go. B- is going to be extremely effective. And that's how I think about it. All right, last but not least, you just have to stop telling yourself you can't. Stop telling yourself you can't make money. It's not true. You just have to start believing I can create money. And you really, I know this is the hardest part, but just trust me on it. You gotta just play pretend, because what I'm saying is you have to play pretend if you don't have evidence of it yet, right? So if your circumstances are like, I have not seen a lot of money coming in through my business yet, like I haven't been able to make money in my business, you got to play pretend. You got to act as if, right? Because we can't rely on our circumstances in order to dictate what our thoughts are and what we're going to believe, because it's our belief that creates our results. It's not our current circumstances. So you have to decide what you want to believe and practice it again and again and again until you're embodying it. And as you're embodying it, it will become your reality. So that's what I've got for you today. And I'm so excited for you to make money now, because why not? All right. I'm going to see you next week. And next week, I have a feeling you're going to be just a little bit richer after listening to this episode. So I'm celebrating with you ahead of time. All right. Talk to you next week. Hey, for listening. I hope this episode is something that you'll be able to add to your manifestation toolbox to come back to when you need a little extra motivation. If you like what you've heard today and want to take it deeper, you've got to come check out my signature coaching program, the Money Manifestation Movement. It's the place where you'll not only learn manifestation, but you'll begin to live it alongside me and an amazing community of like-minded entrepreneurs doing this work together. Head on over to jamieberman.com to learn more.